Weather alert is in effect for Saturday afternoon as we're still following the threat of severe weather, likely beginning by mid-afternoon into the evening hours, and could bring all threats to the table here, especially watching for a damaging wind and damaging hail as well across the area. This will again fire up into the afternoon. We're already seeing some activity this morning along with this system incoming as the slow pressure is pushing out some storms ahead of it. These are likely to remain sub-severe. We just don't have a lot of energy building up ahead of this as this is actually, you'll notice, taking almost a northerly direction. It's actually going to manage to drag that cold front well to the south of it through our area later today. So again, not expecting that severe weather until likely that front will arrive until later this afternoon. Through the morning and at least even just past the noon hour, likely still seeing these storms stay sub-severe, but as we'll break through some warmer air later this afternoon, that's where we really be watching for that severe risk. Now up to a 3 out of 5, especially for more southern parts of Missouri, but that's really almost area-wide now for mid-Missouri where we're seeing that heightened severe risk, so certainly stay weather aware through the afternoon and evening. And through here on Future Track, you'll see that this morning activity does look to stay fairly scattered, and even this is likely overestimating how much that's going to hold together as we won't have really good ingredients in place this morning. This is by the early afternoon, though, as you'll see we clear out even through about 2 to 3 p.m. here. The sunny skies getting us to the 80s is really that good fuel for these storms later today, and these new models coming in could possibly push this into the later afternoon, which is just more of that warmth for these storms to work with. You'll see these storms blossoming by about 3 to 5 p.m. there. That's our severe risk already popping up, especially for very large hail out of these 2 inches or even greater hail possible from these storms initially. These do kind of form into a line here as we head into the evening. This is just by about 6 to 7 p.m. where that begins to really form together, bringing more of that wind risk as we head later into tonight. But even by about sundown here, 8 to 9, that's where our severe risk will begin to wane. Kind of seeing these storms pushing out to the east, and still steady rain on the way for Sunday, but especially again, still watching for these storms for this afternoon as we'll be watching especially those winds and hail. That's that 3 out of 5 risk that we'll have across the area today. Still non-zero tornado threat, but that is especially lower than we've seen with our recent systems. And flooding not really looking to be too impactful here, especially seeing most of that rainfall aiming for the east, and that's actually not where we really need it to head, as we're actually in more of a deficit to the west, as we'll see that's even below by a good inch or more with rain that we need to catch up here to really get on track for the season. So we're not really worrying, again, about those heavier downpours. We especially want to watch out for that damaging wind and hail today. Weather alert day lasting through the afternoon and evening, and then a big pattern change early next week. We'll have a cool down with another sharp warm-up rebounding into those spring conditions again, and even more active weather on the way late next week.